Hello again, everybody. My name is Solmaz Barghgir. I'm a life coach. I have been practicing and studying cognitive psychology for more than 10 years. I love it, how human personality, different personality work. And then I studied, I'm an honored graduate of from Tony Robbins coaching school. And I have been practicing coaching in different areas like relationship, career, if you want to see which path you want to pursue, and also finances when it comes to your fitness and your health. These are four areas that I can coach you. And that's it. Today I'm going to
Perfect.
talk about my favorite book, Mindset.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so we are live on Facebook now. I think
Okay.
everything is okay. There were some technical difficulties, but it's okay now.
It's
Awesome. So I can make you the host, co-host, so that you can share with us.
Co-host is better than being host.
Awesome. Let me see. All right. Okay, now you can share with us your screen. So Solmaz, before we get started, why did you choose this book?
Why did I choose this word? This is the okay. Now it works. This is the my third book. The reason I chose it is that after knowing the power of our habits and habit loop, and then knowing how they can be compounded and changing our lives, we need to know how our mind works. And this is the best book can help us with that. Can help us with the fact that how our mindset works in daily basis, how we can be stronger in some areas and weak in other areas, and how we can figure out which part of our mind is dominating. That's why I chose this book. It helps a lot.
Awesome. Perfect. So the stage is yours. Whenever you're ready, you can start.
Okay, everyone. As I said, Mindset has been written by Carol Dweck. Okay, hold on. Let me do one good thing. Pin my video. Yeah. Carol is a world-renowned Stanford University's psychologist. She has been doing lots of researches, and this book is as a result of all those researches. She found out that people have different kind of meanings for success in their lives, and different aspects of their lives, like sport, relationship, business, art, any area of life can be dramatically influenced by how we think about our talent and ability. During her researches, she found out that, different people, based on the kind of mindset they have, they interpret an incident differently. And that's how they make different decisions. She starts with a question. I'm going to ask you this question, and I will give you a little bit of time to think about it. Okay? The question is that, see, there are 4 sentences, and I want you guys to tell me which one you agree the most. The first one is your intelligence is something very basic about you that you cannot change it very much. The second one says you can learn about new things, but you cannot change how intelligent you are. The third one says no matter how much intelligence you are, you can always change it a quiet bit. And fourth one, you can always substantially change how intelligent you are. Ayush, can you share with us which one you agree the most?
Well, with number 4, for sure.
Number 4. Good to know.
Yes.
Good to know. There are
3
other
people
people.
say number 4.
Number
4
4.
people say number 4. Yes.
Good to know. Let's talk about it. Carol, during the whole book, talks about 2 mindsets: fixed mindset, growth mindset. I'm going to to give you lots of examples that you can completely understand the concept of it. She says your intelligent mindset comes into play in situations that involve your personal qualities. What does that mean? It means that you have two different mindsets that parallelly they're engaging you in life. One of them is fixed mindset, which makes you concerned on how people judge you, concerned about judgments. The other one, growth mindset, concerns you about on how you can improve yourself. Okay? The good news is you have a chance. Mindsets are just beliefs, but they're really powerful beliefs. But they're just something in your mind and you can change them. So you're not just obsessed with them. After reading this book or listening to whatever I'm saying today, you will think and decide that how you want your life to look like in future, and which mindset you want to accompany you most of the way. So for those who are thinking about these 4 questions, the first 2 mindsets, the first 2 sentences are for those who are dominantly working with their fixed mindset. The second last are growth mindset. So she asks a very interesting question here. She says, is success about learning or proving that you're smart? And then she says, now in each question, she goes with different mindsets to tell us how different part of our brain work. Fixed mindset people, they don't do mistake. Mistake is equal to failure. Failure is equal to a haunting trauma for the rest of your life. This is how they think. Children with fixed mindset make sure they succeed. Smart people should succeed, always. They can't fail. You have a certain amount of intelligence based on your fixed mindset, and you cannot really do that much about it. Okay, what about growth mindset? People with growth mindset, they choose hard tasks one after another. They just want to figure it out. They want to become stronger and improve more. Children with growth mindset believe that they need to stretch themselves and they need to get smarter by practicing more. So people in growth mindset, they don't just seek challenge, they thrive on it. During Carol's researches, she came across to this girl, one of the students, who she asked, okay, when you face this kind of subject that you cannot figure it out in school, in the classroom, among your classmates, what do you do? She said, I will just, if I'm wrong, I correct myself. I accept that I'm wrong and I need to correct myself. If I can't figure it out, I raise my hand and I said, excuse me, I need help. By doing that, I'm increasing my intelligence. So as parents, how much responsibility is on our shoulders not to give our kids this kind of impression that if you say you don't know, if you say you didn't understand, it doesn't mean you're not smart. It means you are getting smarter. It doesn't mean you're not intelligent. It means that you need to gain more of it. You need to practice it. And then she talks about the time we face challenges. In fixed mindset people, when they feel challenged, if they don't feel they're smart enough, they just give up. They lose their interest. Students with fixed mindset, they just stay interested only if they can make it right away. If they can reach their goal right away. Otherwise, they give up. They don't go further. But students with growth mindset, they have the same level of interest, even if if they face more challenges. Challenge and interest go hand in hand for them. They think this is hard, this is fun, right? And they don't seek for challenge. They just don't seek for challenge. They thrive on it. The bigger the challenge is, the more they stretch. Another interesting concept she talks about is potentials. She says how you can talk about an assessment, do one assessment on a person, and then with that little value that assessment has, go further and just measure and value every single part of that person's future regarding to if they are successful or not. For my Persian friends, this potential section of this book brought up many memories of my school time back home. As you all know, if you want to go to university, you should write this test. They're called concours. Concours is kind of test. It's once a year. Students have 5 to 6 hours to write it. It's very time sensitive, and you can do it once. You cannot change your major. So whatever you do that day will determine what kind of person you are in future. And you know what's the worst part? The worst part is that you will be labeled by the grade you gain in concours. This is all fixed mindset, my friend. Your future success will be measured by your performance and that assessment at the certain day, one day in your whole life. You can enter university and then you cannot change the major. You should just quit, come back, do another concours. That's the part that brought me so many memories. I remember the week before my concours, I had panic attacks because I was thinking, wow, what my parents will say. They will say, you're not smart enough, you're dumb, look at this friend of ours, their kid did this, their grade was like 50, 100, they were accepted in the best university, what are you doing? You know how much that little assessment right now for me was measured my whole life going forward. That's what we should keep in our mind when it comes to thinking about the students. Especially this is good for teachers. So she says, just so you know, there is another way to judge potentials. And she brings an example of NASA. In NASA, there were times that they were soliciting application for astronauts. Interesting to know, they rejected every single person with pure history of success and instead selected people who had major failures in their lives, but they bounced back and they took lessons and they created kind of different life for themselves. That was their priority. So she says, as a fixed mindset, if you are somebody when you're successful, then who you are when you're not. Let's think about that. And that's why she goes through two different studies in students to see how defining moments in their lives have been triggered some kind of behavior in them. First, the study was for 7th graders. Okay, the writer says that when students had the transition to 7th grade, they faced some failures, of course, in their academic topics they would take. In growth mindset, they just took the lesson and they went for next test. They didn't get stuck there. They didn't just carry that failure as a trauma, permanent trauma in their life. But students with fixed mindset, they thought, okay, if I don't have the ability, why should I waste my time? I don't have the ability. That's it. That's fixed. Carol thought, okay, maybe it's because they're teenagers. Let's go to college student, the transition from high school to college. And she did different kind of research on them. After they did say that both group, growth and fixed mindset, they did a test poorly. She gave them another chance, a second chance, to take a look at their tests of other students, the result of other students. Growth mindset students, they look at the tests that of those students who did the test better than them, who had better results. Why? Because they wanted to correct their own deficiency. Meaning that they were in acceptance that with the fact that you can, as a student, you can do some failure, but it doesn't mean that you are a failure yourself. You can just improve yourself. But what did the student with fixed mindset do? They looked at the test results of those who had done it poorly, even worse than them. Why? Because they wanted to, that was a way for them to feel better. That's how fixed mindset affects every single way that you can improve your life. You don't want to face it. So then she talks about effort and how effort in these two different mindsets can affect their lives. She says, of course, becoming is better than being, right? She says, in growth mindset people, effort ignites ability and turns it to accomplishment. Even geniuses, they know that as a genius, I should work hard for better accomplishment. It's not like that. Because I'm genius, I should just sit and see the result of my work. No, that doesn't happen. But to what happens to fixed mindset? First off, for fixed mindset people, effort is extremely terrifying. Why? Because as a genius, you don't need to make any effort. Like, you are entitled and privileged to have everything because you're a genius. Okay? The second one is that when you put effort, you rub off every single excuse. You cannot use, oh, I could have been blah, blah, blah if I had made some effort. That excuse is not there anymore. This is the last stop for you. And then Carol asks you a question. When do you feel smart? When you're flawless or when you are in the process of learning? Think about it. I could see myself sometimes doing something with lowest effort in a blink and think, oh, I did it. But when I try to learn and study more, I think I'm more efficient. And I'm not sure if it's being smart or not, but I'm efficient. And she says you need to try, avoid any immediate perfection. That's not the way to having growth mindset. She says learning is something over time while you're confronting your challenge and making progress. And then she goes to different aspects of these two mindsets in life. First one is the sport. She talks about the mindset of champions. If being natural is something that we always talk about champions. I'm going to talk about two examples, she says, because you can all apply to them. The first one is Muhammad Ali. Up to today, I read this book, I was thinking he was a natural. He could do anything he wanted. He was a champion, so he was a natural. But Carol talks about how none of his physical aspects, like fist, like chest expansion, like his reach, none of them were according to the standards that he should have in that sport. The only thing he had was his brilliant mind. She brings an example of one of the times that he was going to unring with one of the champions called Liston. Muhammad Ali said that a month prior that day, he had been studying this man, Liston, his competitor. He mainly read every single interview Liston had done up to that date. He talked to people who were hanging out with him in a way that Muhammad said that I would lay in my bed, close my eyes, and think that what would Liston do if I just lift my right hand? What would be his next move? He had studied him. That's how he made himself a natural. He wasn't a natural by nature. He had a brilliant mind. So this is what one of the mottos that he had. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Your hands can hit, but your eyes can see. The second example is Michael Jordan. As far as Carol, he was a natural too, but he was the hardest working athlete, based on Carol's research in the whole sport world. He was so successful because he was just hard worker athlete. He was practicing and trying a lot. He wasn't just sitting down and thinking that I'm a natural, I will make it happen. No, his physics were not as in the standards that you would think he should have. So Carol said, this is Michael Jordan actually. Michael Jordan said that the mental toughness and heart are a lot stronger than some physical advantage you might have. And then in sport, in the mindset of champion, we have another aspect which Carol calls it character. She says the way you get ahead in life is through hard work. And that is going to your character. Your character should be kind of that character that you have ability to dig in and stretch and be so strong when things go against you. Right? And then she compares two mindsets, of course. She says, people in fixed mindset, they are enmeshed with the idea that they have their own talent and specialness. Okay, when it comes, we are talking about people in sport. So when things go wrong, they lose their focus and ability. And this has happened to lots and lots of athletes. But in growth mindset, they cope well with the setbacks and failure. They point good strategies and they try to take the lesson there and then act in their best interest they have. She says, I love this. I wrote this on my whiteboard every day. I tell myself, mental toughness is when I tell myself, I could will myself to win. Mental toughness is when I tell myself I could will myself to win. Not I will win. I could will myself to win. Then she goes to business. In business, she talks about mindset and leadership. She talks about the fact that in 2001, the corporate success required a new concept. They called it talent mindset. And what those managers, fixed mindset managers, were asking, they believe that, okay, we are superiors. Because we are superior, we should display ourselves there up in the hierarchy, and we need to prove ourselves constantly that we are here. This is us. You're the rest. You should sacrifice your position, your time, your life for us, and then to feed us our needs. And then the worst part is this kind of managers, they sacrifice their whole company's needs, the whole vision of the company for their ego. Because if they wouldn't keep their employees on their toes, they couldn't do their managing. They should have kept everybody in a way that they depend on them. We talked about this a little bit in Power of Habit 2 weeks ago too. They go hand to hand. And then she talks about the growth mindset managers and how they're there to guide, not to judge. She says they're focused on learning. They're not worried about this protecting their fixed learning. No, they're mostly focused on learning themselves, employees, and the company in whole. They use feedbacks and they don't even care who is this feedback is coming from, but they alternate their strategies accordingly. They start with the belief that human being has a potential, then they can develop. So their focus is on the potential for future, and then they use the company as a engine of growth for themselves, for employees, and the whole company as whole. Carol says that true self-confidence is the courage to be open, to welcome change, and to welcome new ideas, regardless where it comes from. And then we talk about relationship. The third one, we talked about sport, we talked about business. Now we are talking about relationship. She says it's interesting. We always think that the course to true love may have some bumpers and challenges, but she says no. Even when you think you are running a true love, still you may face lots of challenges. The path to true love may be full of disappointment and heartbreaks. But that is not doesn't matter. What matters is that in fixed mindset people, they have a recipe that, okay, to heal my wounds, I should take revenge. Revenge is sweet. I had a client once, they broke up, and when I asked them, okay, they were really restless. And when I asked them, what makes you feel a little bit better? And they told me, if I know the other party is miserable too, I want to take revenge. But as a growth mindset, they understand, they forgive, and they move on. Because to understand all is to forgive all. If you just keep it in your mind that I should take revenge, I should think that, oh, what is he doing? What is she doing? What's happening to him? Yesterday, Sarah talked about grieving. It applies to grieving too. You need to forgive, you need to understand, and you need to move on. And then she talks about mindset when you feel in love, when you fall in love. She says that in falling in love mindset, people in fixed mindset, they think that, okay, your personality traits, your partner qualities, the relationship qualities, everything is fixed. Nothing will be changed. It is what it is. And it's, you know what's the worst part? They think they're all there for judgment. People can judge them. Versus people in growth mindset, they think that, you know what, everything can be developed. I can get better, I can change, I can grow, I can improve. The same, my partner can change, my partner can grow. Hand in hand, we can make a better relationship, you know. So the way that they look at the relationship is totally different. People in fixed mindset, they have two problems when it comes to falling in love. The first one is that they think that if it doesn't work, so it didn't meant to be. So I'm gonna put it aside, jump to another relationship. This one doesn't meant to be. But it's not like that, my friends. There's so many conflicts in our lives. Of course, fixed mindset, when they see the conflict, the first thing they do, they assign the blame instead of when they see the problems, they look at them as a deep-seated flaws. They assign the blame. They say, okay, the blame is on me, the blame is on my partner. And then they have anger, then they have lots of disgust toward the partner, and they cannot move on. Versus people in growth mindset, they just rise above the blame. They don't get stuck in blame. They try to understand the problem and they try to fix it together. That's the difference. Then we have, this is the part I couldn't even not talk about, it, shyness. She did this gorgeous research about shyness. She says that, first off, shyness for sure affects the social interaction for people in fixed mindset, not people in growth mindset. She says that it doesn't mean that people with growth mindset, they don't experience shyness. Of course, there are people who Carol calls them the shy growth mindset people. Okay, she says, of course they feel it. And then she has done this research. Group of shy growth mindset, group of shy fixed mindset. She managed to have them all in a room, hanging out with each other. For the first 5 minutes, it was extremely full of tension. They were nervous, and after that, what happened? People with growth mindset, they showed more social interest. They were hanging out with others better. They were more likable. They created more enjoyable interaction. And at the end, they took control of their shyness. Okay? Because they were not worried for that others will judge them. What about the fixed mindset? The shyness controlled them. Okay, they couldn't let down the guard. They couldn't go above their fears. Why? Because they were afraid of judgment. This has been a huge breakthrough for me. Anytime I want to do something that I'm not sure it will be right enough to get to have the approval of every single individual, I tell myself, Solmaz, what can go wrong? You will have some critics that you can use them to get better. That's it. If any of us could do something from beginning 100% well, what is the joy of improvement, right? That applies to shyness too. We can feel shy. That's okay. But we should not let shyness take control of our lives. That's the difference between these two groups. The last part, she talks about parents, teachers, and athlete coaches. She says just compares these groups regarding to their mindsets. She says, of course, fixed mindsets, parents or teachers, they say that you are permanent threats and I'm judging them. I'm judging your threats. But what about growth mindset? Growth mindset teachers, growth mindset parents, they think that you are a developing person and I'm committed to your development. I will try my best to teach you what to do. Then she talks about this very interesting concept of praising, how praising works in our life. She says, please avoid praising your kids for their being genius, their being smart, pretty, handsome. These are not areas that they need praise. The only area your kid needs praise is when they put effort and they try. Versus just because they're gorgeous, because they're pretty, because they're cute. Those are not areas that you need to praise your kids. Those are really dangerous areas. And just think about the cultures we are coming from and how we have been praised for stuff that we didn't even earn them. She says, if parents want to give their kids a gift, the best thing they can do is to teach them to love challenge, to be intrigued by mistakes, enjoy effort, seek new strategies, and keep on learning. The children, in this way, your children will not be slaves of praises. How much our children, I'm not talking about having the parents' approval, praise. Then your children will have a lifelong way to build and repair their own confidence. When you praise them on something they tried on. And there is an example, of course it will go with the example better. She talks about, of course, children will feel discouraged and vulnerable when they face failure. She has this real example of a girl, her name was Elizabeth. She was part of a huge contest on gymnastics, and although there was so much hope for her through her parents, through her family, friends, school, everyone was praising her that you will do great. When she attended the area contest, she had lots of other competitors that were far more stronger than her. They were in gymnastics for a longer time. They were champions from previous years, so she lost. Imagine the amount of vulnerability and discouragement this girl faced. Now another challenge for you guys. Imagine they're Elizabeth's parents and you have 5 choices. The first choice is that you tell after this contest, you may tell Elizabeth that, you know what, you thought she was the best. Or you say she was robbed of a ribbon and that was rightfully hers. The ribbon was hers. She should have been chosen. That wasn't fair. Okay? And then third one is reassure her that gymnastic is not that important. That's another choice. Hmm? The fourth one is that she has the ability and she will surely win next time. And the last one, you may choose to tell her that she didn't deserve to win. Now I want to challenge you to think which one you will choose. Ariza, do you see anything? Ariza, what would you say? Hello.
Oh, I was mute all the time, and I was explaining. No, I'm saying.
Oh, you're mute. Okay.
Yeah, I'm with number 4 for sure. I will definitely tell her that she is able to do it, and she can win. I will not tell her she will win, and I will tell her it's not guaranteed. But if she tries, she can win for sure. That's what I'm certain of.
Your choice is number 4, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can you take a look in comments and tell me what other people are choosing? Thank you.
So we have some other 4s. So you always put the best answer in as number 4, as choice number 4.
It's not me, it's Carol. Okay.
Oh, 5. We have a 5. Yay! We have something else.
Yay! Ruthless compassion. Who is 5? Who is 5? Do you have the name?
Yes. It's oh, her name is iPad.
Okay, iPad. What's your name? I want. Okay, if you got the name, tell me, Adriza. Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, it's Cheyenne.
It's Cheyenne. You read the book, cheater. But that's right. Let's go through the answers. The first one says that you thought she was the best. This is the biggest lie ever. It's basically completely insincere. She wasn't best, and you know it. She knows it. By telling her you were best, you are just telling her how she can recover from future failures. She wasn't best. The second one is she was robbed of a ribbon and it was rightfully hers. That's another lie. You are telling her that from now on, whenever you face failure, just blame others, blame judges, blame others, and always protect yourself. This is how you will face failures and setbacks. The third one is reassure her that gymnastic is not that important. That's another lie. You're telling her basically that from now on, if you are not successful in something in Versaten, just give up. Don't pursue. It's not yours. The fourth one is that she has the ability and she will surely win next time. We don't know that. That's based on Carol's researches, that's the most dangerous message of all. Because does the ability automatically take you somewhere? No. You should try a lot, right? That's why that if you didn't win this time, there is no guarantee that you will win next time with the same amount of ability you had so far. The last one, tell her that she didn't deserve it. It's the ruthless compassion that Carol talks the whole book all the way along till now, as Cheyenne chose it. She says that, of course, you will not bring it like that, but this is what a growth mindset parent tell their kids. Let's see what Elizabeth's father told her. Elizabeth, I know how you feel. This is so disappointing. It is disappointing. To have your hopes up and to perform your best, but not to win. But you know, darling, you haven't really earned it yet. This yet is the best part of the parent's advice. There is a hope, but you haven't learned it yet. There were many girls there. They were there in gymnastics longer than you. They were doing better than you. But if you really want to do something in this field of sport, if you really want to be there, you should work for it. And that's all Carol tells us. She says that if you want to praise someone, if you want to give feedback on a failure, watch what kind of advice you're giving that kid specifically. Saying that you will do it, whatever happens, you will do it. No, it's not like that. If you really want it, you haven't been able to do it so far yet, but you need to put so much effort on it to be able to do it. So a parent or teacher with growth mindset, they don't judge, they teach because they know it's a learning process. If we want to wrap up what we learned from this book so far, we learned that first step in the journey to the real true growth mindset is first to accept that what we have we all have both mindsets. For me, it was such a difficult path to accept that I live my fixed mindset plenty of times. First, we should be in peace with both of them. We have both of them, believe both of them, depending on the situation. The second one is to recognize what triggers the fixed mindset. Failure, criticism, deadlines, disagreements, setbacks, what triggers that? And then to understand that what happens to us once that fixed mindset persona is triggered, and how we can name it. Like, what is that persona? We should call it with something and have it in our mind. And whenever that persona kicks in, how we feel, how we think, how we react to it, and how we affect the people around us. And then gradually learn to remain in growth mindset area. Gradually, little by little, despite the fact we may have failures, setbacks. And the best part that I love is to help others to be in our team, to be in this growth mindset. And Carol wraps up the whole book with this diagram, which she calls a two mindsets. It's basically whatever we talked about so far. It's about challenges, obstacles, effort, criticism, success of others, how each mindset reacts to all of this. So that was all. And I'm open here for any questions that I know you will have.
Perfect. Awesome.
Solmaz, can you go to last slides and make the image bigger so you can see what was it?
This one?
Yes.
First off, you can, if you Google two mindsets diagram, you can just find the same one. And right now you can screenshot it and zoom in. I can't zoom in right now.
You can find it in Google, basically.
Yeah.
The picture is there.
Yeah, in book it wasn't that obvious. I found this while searching. Yeah.
Yeah, there are lots of high quality pictures there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, questions?
So do we have any question? You can ask question by unmuting yourself, or you can type here in the chat box.
So what is the best way to work with someone with the fixed mindset and try to, if you are in some type of relationship with them, try to change a belief or behavior when they have a fixed mindset and it's hard to change their mind?
Cyrus, this is a good question. Last week, Chloe asked something like this regarding to how compound effect can help us in relationship, and if our partners thinking differently. What I have learned is that we should, first thing we should do is to be a good example of whatever we are praising. Like if If we don't like fixed mindset, if we know the disadvantages of being in fixed, living with fixed mindset and advantages of growth mindset, we should be a good example. People change when they see the main change in us. If you live or if you have someone with fixed mindset in your life, the best thing you can do, show how growth mindset is changing your life. Literally be the example. You can't make anybody change. That's for sure. In Farsi, guys, we have an expression, my husband loves it. We say, you can wake up someone who is actually sleeping. But if someone pretends he or she is sleeping, you cannot wake them up. This
That's true.
applies to every single aspect of our relationships too. Right? If someone doesn't want to change, they don't change. But if they see the change in you, they admire you, they will admire you. They see how the quality of your life is improving, they will follow you. I hope I could answer your question.
That's a very, very good comment there. Definitely, yes.
I think many of us want to grow, but are unable to receive. Kwan, can you tell us what you typed? I lost it.
Oh, I thought she wanted it typed out. So I loved the last 20 to like the last 15, 20 minutes. I think so many people want to grow, but are unable to receive criticism well, maybe because they've been hurt in the past. And so how do you lead someone towards healing so that they can receive criticism in a constructive manner? And as a follow-up, what is a constructive way for us to give criticism to people we know?
Yeah, that's more important. Golden point, Korn. The thing is that when we give criticism, now you call it, it's not critic. I think feedback. When you give feedback to other people, the first thing we should have in our mind is that, is it coming from our judgment, or is it coming from the part that we want to help those people, that person to grow? Because we feel each other. When I feel someone is judging me unconsciously, without knowing, I have a huge barrier there. I can't receive the feedback anymore. Because I feel, I'm just, as an example, I'm talking about myself. I may feel that I have been put lower, in a position lower that I deserve. Versus someone talks to me in a way that they're giving me feedbacks to get better. The only thing fixed mindset people get so much criticized is, the only reason is that because they have the fear of being judged. And let's face it, myself, from when I was in school, I remember our teachers in the beginning of school years, especially in first 4 years, they used to categorize kids based on their being smart or kind of dumb. Okay, and there was always a couple of smart kids. We called them zerang, and they had other kids in their groups, and that was it. There was no feedbacks. The teacher would actually put you in a group till end of the school year. There was no way you could get better. There was no chance that you would be out of that group, right? So how can you give feedback to that kid when they know that, okay, they will be traumatized for the rest of the year by being labeled as a dumb kid, right? I guess it comes back from the kind of feedback where we are coming from, how much we are really judging, or how much we are being genuine. As a life coach, sometimes this being ruthlessly compassion, it's such a different thing for me to do, because I'm constantly thinking about myself. Am I judging this person, or I'm really trying to give them as constructive feedback? We are smart. Our subconscious mind just absorbs whatever the other party is giving. Right, Alireza?
Absolutely, 100%. Well, this is also about the mindset, because if someone has a fixed mindset, then criticism becomes a challenge, a very big challenge, because in their ideas, what is mindset? Basically, mindset is a set of attitudes that we have about something. So a fixed mindset says everything is fixed. I'm not going to change because this is what I am, and this is my label. These are my characteristics. I'm born like that, and it's not going to change. Now you want to criticize. So you are actually attacking, to them, you're attacking the fundamentals, and they can't accept it. But if they have this flexible or growth mindset, then criticism becomes easy. Then the question is like how we can approach. Then if we understand how we put questions together in a nice and easy way, in a constructive way, they can put their emotions aside and listen to us so that they can we can get better results. So it's all about the mindset, as Solmaz says. So mindset is everything. And as you said, yes, it is from the subconscious mind. And this is actually related to the second comment that Mirdad is asking. And he's saying that we have a combination of both mindsets. To some degree, it can be true. And the percentage might not be clear. Yes, it differs from a person to another. And the question is, are our mindsets controlled by our subconscious minds? That's what he's asking.
Yes. Carol says that we receive some labels from our childhood. That's why our role as parents is so crucial, people. We put in our kids' subconscious mind, we plant teeny tiny seeds as you being smart, brilliant job. You do this and you achieve this, great work, right? It's all how our subconscious mind has been nourished along the time from first year till they say max to 8 years old. After that, we go with our subconscious mind, with whatever we have been taught and we have been absorbed and we have learned. Especially since beginning of quarantine, before Ali Reza approaches me, I was going through this book. I was reading. That's why the moment you said, I said mindset. And I'm practicing it on my son. Like I'm thinking that, okay, which areas I'm praising him with effort? Which areas he really doesn't need that praise? The other day, he was trying so hard to assemble his basketball net in backyard, and he had so many challenges. He fell down several times. And I was like, Mommy, I need help. And I was thinking, I said, no, I think you're doing it good. Great work. Try harder. And he was doing it. And each time he was like, yeah, hard work and dedication. It took me more than 20 minutes, poor kid. But at the end, his father and I praised him a lot for being consistent on trying. And I was like, okay, Carol Dweck, I'm practicing on my son. Let's see how much it works. And teachers have the same responsibility in society.
Absolutely. 100%.
And to Mehrdad's question, yes, it comes from our subconscious mind. That's why in the summary at the end of my presentation, I say that you should find the triggers. The trigger should be how your parents, your teachers, your older people in family have been praised you for some stuff or labeled you. And then from there, you can see the triggers, you can switch the mindset. Gradually leave the growth mindset.
That's right. Yeah. And he's saying, so does it mean that we can't consciously choose the right mindset? That's also,
yeah, of course we can. I really recommend you to suggest you to read this book. This book has lots of examples. I just went through 4 of them. I couldn't do more.
Right.
And it will implement in your mind. It will like kind of dawn in, okay, what is going on with each mindset? When do I switch in between? Where is the part that I really feel more comfortable to be in fixed mindset and avoid trying? How many people told you that, oh yeah, I broke up, it didn't meant to be? Relationship needs work, right? But we are so afraid that if we try, we have played all of our cards, so there is no excuse for later, right? We can't say, oh, if I had done this, I would be able to do this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. No more.
Anyone
No.
in your Facebook?
Actually, Solmaz, so you said that you can switch from one mindset to other one. Can you explain one more time how? How can people decide, like, if the person has that mindset, how they can change it?
Yeah. First off, it's not changing. You cannot change anything. As Carol says, it's a very gradual process. But since receiving critiques and feedbacks has been really, people can all apply to it. I'm gonna go with that, Cyrus. Imagine you get kind of feedback that you feel that you're judged. Like someone tells you that, I don't know, tell me like you are a bad driver. I got that a lot when I came to Canada. I used to be a Schumacher in Tehran. I was driving like a crazy woman. And my friend, that's how you survive there. But when I came here, I used to get so many critics on my driving. Everyone was like, oh my God, don't sit beside Solmaz. She's, and I was thinking I'm doing good. But it came to a stage of mind that I thought each time I would think myself, okay, see, you can't do one thing right. You can't be a good citizen. You can't drive. Driving, what is driving? It's the easiest thing, and you can't even do it that right. And I learned that, okay, I will try step by step. Each day, I will try one thing right in driving, and I want to make sure I'm doing good. My driving has been much, much better, of course. I knocked the wood. I never had even one ticket so far. But let me tell you, Cyrus, some people keep defining you with the same kind of judgment that they have found in you in the first day. And they keep criticizing you with the same judgment. To Kwan's Anne's question, this applies to that. You cannot change their mind, but you can see that if this is a right critic or not. And when they're labeling me, am I going to trauma of being permanently labeled as a bad driver? Or I'm thinking that I'm trying my best, I'm in the process of getting better driver, and I'm not going to let those labels to define the rest of my life. My performance as a driver, knock the wood, haven't had any tickets, shows that I'm doing good, right?
Good job.
So thank you. You can't change it. You can't switch it like this, but you can work on it constantly.
Mm-hmm. This is very, very good point. Basically, change doesn't happen in a day, but it happens daily. It gets better daily. So every single day we have to think about it. We have to feel about it. So with regards to even what Mehrdad says, yes, it is from the unconscious mind, but we can consciously change it. The first step to change is to be conscious of what's wrong, what is the right way, and then using the strategies in order to change. And once we understand this, everything becomes much easier for us. If we are conscious of our mindset, we can change it.
Yeah, and praise ourselves for whatever achievements so far we have done, right? We have a challenge with Kwan and the whole group, and each night I fulfill the challenge for that day. I praise myself for that, because that's how I keep myself in growth mindset, not fixed.
Right.
For the effort. I guess we are out of time. 2 minutes. Guys, thank you very much for being engaged. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all your questions. And next week, we did all these books so far. Next week, it's about daring greatly. It's about being vulnerable.
Awesome. Thank you again, Solmaz, and thank you everybody for your time.